Now, don't get me wrong, Americans are entitled to revere their leaders and historical figures, and I'm not one to get in the way of that. I am just one to try to understand and study and learn. Now, Abraham Lincoln is a case in point. I believe he knew that by his simple declaration as a candidate for the presidency, he was going to cause division, probably secession, probably even war. Interesting leadership choice. He also couldn't get General McClellan to attack the South and end the war quickly, and he famously quipped, "If you're not using your army, do you mind if I borrow it for a while?" An interesting inability of a leader to get subordinates to take action. But we're talking about his inaugural addresses, so let's get on with that. Lincoln argues for states' rights, of course, a dubious legal discourse on the dissolution of contracts, and the fact that he emancipated slaves during the Civil War over whom he had no control is also an interesting reason to revere his leadership. So does presiding over the largest mass execution in American history and suspending habeas corpus. The mass execution, doubly horrific, was of indigenous people. However, Lincoln gets full marks for a clear inaugural addressing the reality of the times. 2 weeks before, Jefferson Davis had been inaugurated president of the Confederacy. Lincoln gets right to the apprehension among the people of the southern states. He emphasizes that he has no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with the institution of slavery in the states where it exists. I believe I have no lawful right to do so, and I have no inclination to do so. He actually supports the return of runaway or so-called contraband slaves, even if they have escaped to a non-slave state. Ironically, he also denounces the lawless invasion by armed force of the soil of any state. In a lawyerly fashion, Lincoln argues against the right to self-determination of any portion of the Union. Ironically, the Declaration or Constitution of the Confederacy forbade secession. He likens the Union to a contract that can only be peacefully unmade by all the parties who made it. Doubtfully legal if there was collusion or other reasons to nullify that contract. Continuing his lawyerly analysis, he finds the Constitution silent on a range of slavery issues and apparently supporting the status quo. He even claims he would support a constitutional amendment entrenching slavery. I have no objection to its being made express and irrevocable. Lincoln's second inaugural is short and to the point. He now declares that war is about both Union and slavery and looks forward to Reconstruction with malice toward none and charity for all.